in the dark.
It's not safe.
You need the money.
Whatever happened to Pogues for life?
Just kicking off this interview, Drew, I want to talk a little bit about Rafe this season because he gets a romantic partner, or he solidifies his relationship, I guess. Sophia's back. Can you talk about exploring that aspect of Rafe's story in season 4 and how that affects his decisions and his outlook towards the Pogues and everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has someone. I think Rafe has someone right now that he deeply cares for, and I think is a good influence on him, for the most part. You know, wants the best for him, and I think that's the first time in his life he's really had that. He's really had someone that doesn't want to gain anything from him, just accepts him at where he is. So that was I guess it kept it fresh. It kept it feeling new. You know, I was getting to explore parts of him that I hadn't gotten to yet. So yeah, it was nice. It was like lovely.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Full time, right?
Yeah, it was
so cutesy. It's very.
I had a lot
good
more calmer moments. It was pretty great.
Great.
Yeah.
Calm. What?
Yeah, it's nice not to see him like freaking out and like going on manic
Yeah,
episodes,
not
which is
not
nice.
all the time.
Trying to kill him, trying to drown your sister. Yeah.
Just relax, dude. He's got to chill. Finally.
And Chase, so just talking about John B, I mean, he lost his father again in the last season.
Well, two for
and now he's searching for Blackbeard's treasure with his friends. Do you think he fears he's becoming like his father when it comes to things like treasure hunting? Because his friends seem like kind of almost excited to get back into it, and John B's like, "Oh, we have a moment of peace. This is nice. I don't want to really do this anymore."
Well, I think that's just what he's always wanted. You know, even if you go back to season 1, it was never really about the treasure. It was about finding his dad so DCS would stop banging on his door and potentially take him away from his world. So I think John B, and in losing his father, he's lost a sense of normalcy. And now he's got it with this, win in El Dorado. So he's sort of like, I don't need or want to balance losing any more than I already have. And so, yeah, I think he's a little more hesitant. I think he's watching his friends get excited about, this huge win. But he's thinking about all that has been lost in the process of getting there. So a lot of introspective, sort of like really thinking internally about the future for him.
Yeah, definitely. I like that sort of perspective. He's definitely a lot more mature than I expected him to be.
Thank you. That was my goal. So thank you.
And then Rudy, speaking about JJ, I feel like one of his most important relationships within the Pogues is with Kiara specifically. And I really liked some of the scenes we got to see with them together. It's kind of nice to see them like in an actual relationship instead of sort of dancing around it. Can you talk about what it's been like growing this relationship from a friendship into something more romantic at this point?
Yeah, for JJ, I think he's taking a leap of faith that he's like, I think this is going to be what's best for me. And that's what JJ is thinking in that moment. He's like, okay, even though I might not trust myself with knowing how to do this, he's taking that leap. And that's been kind of the progression. And I think in season 4, JJ's like really coming, I think, like they're finding that new dynamic. I think that's what shines light through this relationship, is that it's like, okay, can JJ handle responsibility in a relationship? And I think that's kind of as much as I can say this season is what's really happening, is that JJ's trying to be responsible and make good decisions. But in the end of the day, JJ's gonna JJ, that's for sure.
He makes some decisions in this season that definitely made me question things, but I take the effort.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying.
And Drew, speaking about Rafe and his father's death, I feel like he's still affected very much by his father's death after all these months. Do you think that will sort of affect his potential to be redeemed and sort of trying to not only like be like his father, but also be better than his father?
Yeah, I mean, there's a deep sense of legacy with him. I think that's incredibly important. And I think, of course he's still grieving and he's jaded and callous throughout this process of it, and he's experienced a lot, but I think there's a deep kind of part of him that wants to pass on the family legacy and grow it. And I think he's motivated by that, wanting to be even better than his father. So yeah, we'll see. That's like a good question. I need to think about that. I'm gonna be better. Better than Dad. But yeah.
JJ's backstory, we get to dig into it a little bit more at the end of this part 1. What was the most exciting part about looking into that? And were you shocked by what was happening? Or did you get some kind of warning ahead of time that we were going to take such a sharp plot twist?
No, I was shocked. I talking with Gary about holy cow, we're not by blood related. That took us by surprise and shock. And I just said this earlier that I think it actually played into the scene of when we both did it, of where it's just whoa, we truly felt connected as father and son and as these characters. And then when we found out, it was it was a really difficult but fun scene to shoot, of where you kind of come to that realization of okay, then what is this new father figure? What is this new dynamic now with Luke, that it's do I listen to him even at all now? Yet you didn't really listen to him at all in the first place, but it definitely was there still was love there, even though it was really complicated. And now JJ is going through a huge identity crisis. I think of what is this gonna really do to JJ, and how does he handle not knowing exactly who he is anymore? Because his whole identity is I am definitely not a kook. And so, yeah, finding that new thing, finding it out.
Well, that's a lot. I can't wait to find out more about that. And then just a closing question for all three of you. This show is full of awful parents. I would just say that literally every parent is bad except for maybe one of them. Who do you think is the worst parent, dead or alive, in Outer Banks? And then which of the Pogues do you think will be the best parent out of the group?
Ooh, worst parent. I love him as a human. Charlie is great, but I think Big John, he just sort of bailed, basically, ideally almost for forever. He was just gonna leave his kid with a house and responsibilities. I don't know. Luke's pretty shitty.
Luke's pretty bad. And then I can't say, but
Ward's great.
Yeah,
Ward's intentions are so.
Ward, Charlie, Charles does a great job of playing him morally still connected to his children.
I mean, it wasn't until shit hit the fan. He was the perfect dad until shit hit the fan, and then even then, he was still trying to do right by his family. So,
and then who would make the best parent out of the Pogues?
Pope. Yeah.
Pope.
We can all agree it's Pope. Okay. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me. Love the season. I can't wait to watch the other half of it, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.